What is up guys, Ken Okada here with my first 5-Minute Friday video where I explain something about rehab fitness or something interesting or useful for you in 5 minutes or less. So we're about to roll into the new year and we all know what that means. 2 weeks of attempted lifestyle changes and suddenly we're back to square one. Now personally, I'm not much of a believer in New Year's resolutions, but I know a lot of people are, so I wanted to give you the tools in order to be successful in your resolutions. So here are 4 things that you can focus on in order to better yourself in 2018. So number 1, focus on habits instead of fixating on goals. Now this is where a lot of people will fail. They'll go about stating what they want to achieve, but they never come up with a solid plan. At this point, it just becomes an empty sentiment. Instead, if you focus on defining the exact habits and behaviors that will support your goal, you are much more likely to succeed. So step 1, figure out what you want to achieve. Now step 2, plan the small steps and habits that you're willing to do and that you can do on a daily basis in order to achieve it. So if your goal is to be more confident in 2018, make a commitment to say hi to 3 strangers every day. If you want to improve your fitness, plan your days accordingly in order to facilitate that goal, which brings me to my next point. Number 2, reverse engineer your day. In order to implement new habits and behaviors, we need to understand that most of our habits and behaviors are caused by triggers. It can be as simple as sitting down on a couch, which leads you to turn on the TV. Now, a bunch of these triggers strung together can create a chain of events. Now, let's make a short chain of events that leads you to the TV as an example. You finish your day at work, then you get into your car to go home, turn right towards your usual route, get stuck in traffic, get pissed off, get home, walk past the pantry to grab some chips, then finally plop down on a couch and turn on Netflix. So let's change a few things to replace that habit. So the night before, you get your gym bag ready with everything you need. You finish up at work, get in your car, turn left on your new route to the gym, work out, then go home, walk past the pantry to grab an apple since you got rid of all of your junk food, past the TV and towards your room where you'll read. So you see, if you reverse engineer your day in order to facilitate your habits and behaviors, you begin to create the basic conditions that are required in order to aid in your success. Now let's pair this with what to do with your surroundings. So number 3, engineer your environment. Your environment has a big influence on what you do during the day. So for example, if you have a lot of junk food at your house, you're more likely to eat all that junk food. If your gym clothing is never clean or is always missing, you're less likely to go to the gym. If you focus on engineering your surroundings in order to help facilitate the habits for your success, you're more likely to engage in those habits. This goes back to the point about triggers. If your environment is full of things that trigger you to do your bad habits and it doesn't have anything that will trigger your good habits, what do you think will happen? So think about the things that trigger your bad behaviors and think about the things that will trigger your better ones. So what do you need to do? Maybe you need to throw out all your junk food. Maybe you need to rearrange your room. Maybe it's as simple as getting your gym bag ready at night. So finally, number 4, limit the number of things that you're going to focus on to 5 things or less. Like this list, less is oftentimes more. When we spread our efforts across too many things, we don't get better at any of them. Instead, if you ask yourself, what is the one thing that I can do to best support my goal, you'll begin to trim off the excess that isn't really necessary. So if your goal is to get more fit, focus on one thing at a time. Figure out a way to get yourself to the gym. Engineer your day and your environment to facilitate that habit. And a lot goes into implementing just one habit, so don't even worry too much about anything else right now. If you change too many things at once, you'll get overwhelmed and you're more likely to quit. Now, if you can handle 2, then go for it, but most people will be a lot more successful tackling just one habit at a time. So that's it guys. I know there's a lot of people out there making videos and articles like this, addressing things like motivation and getting cute little journals to track your progress, and that's great and all, but the underlying foundation to all of that is the formation of behaviors and habits. Remember that motivation is finite and it will dry out. This is why the gym is always packed the first 2 weeks of the new year and it slowly fizzles out to normal levels. This is also why you hear a lot of people say that motivation is an illusion and that discipline and habits are everything. Now this just scratches the surface, and a lot of this information came from a behavior science class that I took in undergrad. If you want to dive deeper, the books Self-Directed Behavior and The Power of Habit are really good resources. Now, if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, or if you want me to dive deeper into this topic, drop a comment below. Remember to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.